Hey everybody, this is Rob from Revelation Rain. As promised, I'm here to go through each of the tracks off our debut album, which is called Vengeance is Mine, Saith the Lord. Um, Go through each one of the tracks and give some background and history on each of these songs. The first record had 10 songs on it, um, and we recorded this album about 2 months after we completed our lineup. It happened that fast, that quickly. Um, Grant and I had started talking again in March, I believe, of 2020, and then we were on hiatus for a little bit while the shutdown and all that stuff was happening, and then we reconvened in late May, and by mid-June we had completed the lineup, and we played I think 2 or 3 shows, and then we went into the studio in August of 2020, and the album was released. The album was released August 31st of 2020. August 31st of 2020. We were over the top. We were over the top. I mean, we were elated with joy. Uh, it was just a magical moment. It was a moment of accomplishment. I think all of us had been in the studio before, except for JT. This was JT's first time in the studio. But we had all, Marty, Grant, and I had all been in studios before, but this was different. This was going in as a band, as a collective band with real songs, all originals, doing, all the work, all the legwork. And it was our first time in the studio, Soundfield Studio, with Pete Bass, who produced the record and engineered it and did the mixing. Marty helped with some mixing as well. But yeah, we went into the studio and we did 4 days of recording and I think 2 days of mixing. That was it. But that's all I needed. I've never understood why bands take so long in the studio, why they labor over stuff. I don't know. We go in, we knock it out, we go home. That's it. That's all there is to it. But anyway, as I had mentioned, it was JT's first time in the studio, but you wouldn't have known it. Because what we did is we went in and we laid down basic tracks. So we recorded those live. And typically we would do maybe 2, at the most 3 takes of a song. Because after that you start to lose spontaneity. So we went in and did the live tracks. And, I'm playing these behind me. I don't really care for commercials too much. So I'm going to skip the ads. Okay. Well, I was hoping to keep our debut album on the screen back there, but that's all right. There's Day of the Lord, the second record. We already talked about that. So anyway, we go in and knock that out pretty quickly. JT, we recorded the tracks live, the basic tracks, and I tell you, JT just nailed the guitar solos. There was no going back. He didn't go back and fix anything. What you hear on the album is first take on his guitar solos. That's how good he is. And he did fantastic. I think everybody did really well in the studio. It was a really comfortable environment. Pete he got the best out of us, that's for sure. Definitely. So, the first track on the album is called New Kind of Man. So today we're going to talk about New Kind of Man. First, I want to go back. Before I start on that, let me talk about the album cover, which was up there. It's a picture of 2 angels. They've got shields, so to speak, fire, and then there's fire raining down from heaven. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. It fit perfectly. We wanted an album cover that would visually represent what the album was about, but also the title of the record, which is, also a name of one of the tracks, the very last track on the album. And what's funny is when searching for an album cover, I was on Google or whatever it was, and typing in, royalty free or, royalty free photos or public domain pictures, whatever. Then we didn't have to pay anyone for it, and no copyright infringements and whatever else. So you would think, that would be, that would be a safe way to search for an album cover, right? Because I put in public domain, and then I kind of put a descriptor, of God's wrath or God's fury, whatever else. And I found this really cool picture, and I ran it through this program that I have. Put our band title with our font. You can see it there. Found that, put it on the first record, and then found a really cool font for the "Vengeance is Mine, saith the Lord" part. And I get it all done, and I'm like, man, this looks familiar. Why does this look familiar to me? I'm like, well, whatever. It said public domain. I don't know. So I get it done, and I send it to all the guys. I'm like, guys, I think I got the perfect album cover. And so JT texts back and said, I think this one's been used before. And he sends a picture of Judas Priest, Ram It Down. It was that exact same picture. I knew I'd seen it someplace. I just couldn't place where. And you would think, since it was labeled under public domain, I'm pretty sure that Judas Priest has not let that lapse into the public domain. I would hope not, anyway. So anyway, kind of a funny story. So obviously we couldn't and didn't use that for the album cover. So it was back to square one. I kept searching, and I came across what we ended up using for the album cover for "Vengeance is Mine," which I thought was just a fabulous picture. And it portrays the album title. It portrays the actual track title, or the song. It was just a great visual representation of what we were going for. So that's what we went with, and that's what you see on the CD and on the vinyl. It's a great cover. So that's how we found the album cover. Good thing JT recognized the Judas Priest thing. Otherwise, we would have had a copyright infringement, and that could have been trouble. But anyway, it worked out for the best. So anyway, I'm trying to think of anything else regarding the recording of the record or, the album cover, anything like that. You have to remember, too, that with this album, like I said, we'd only been together for about 2 months with a completed lineup. So the songs that we had were songs that Grant and I had been playing for a long time, which were all the originals that I've been writing since like 1993, 92. So we were familiar with those tracks. And when we had JT and Margie come in to audition, of course we just, send them 2 or 3 of those songs, and they would learn those, and that's how we would audition and see how it sounds and whatever else. So we'd already picked out, and I say we, pronouns, Grant and I, had already kind of compiled the track listing for this album. And we knew, since 2 of us already knew these songs, it just made sense for Margie and JT to come in, learn these tracks, and then that would be the 10 songs for the record. But, the more we thought about it, it was obvious that JT and Margie were more than just lead guitarist and bass player. They could sing and they could write. And they both had some original tunes. And we listened to some of their original songs, and it was like, these songs are too good to not put on the record. But at the same time, we're pressed for time. Let's at least get 1 track from each one of them. 1 from JT and 1 from Margie. Work it up, and those should go on the record. So we took 2 of my songs off and put, 1 from Margie and 1 from JT, and they're phenomenal tracks. And when we get to those songs, I'll go into detail about them. So we kept 8 of my songs, and then 1 from Margie, 1 from JT. So it fleshed it out a little bit more. It wasn't just all my stuff. Even though we were pressed for time, we wanted for it to have representation from everyone. So we're all glad that it turned out the way that it did. So anyway, regarding New Kind of Man, that was a song that I wrote shortly after I got saved in 2013. Uh-oh, another commercial. Hold on. I skip these ads. Most of these commercials are absolutely stupid. What is this? Late Night with Jimmy Fallon? I don't want to watch this. Oh, actually, that's not too bad of a video right there. Vanilla Fudge was on Jimmy Fallon playing their killer rendition of Keep Me Hanging On. So that's what that was coming up. Anyway, right here is the album cover for Vengeance is Mine, saith the Lord. As you can see, this is just, I'm trying to get close. It's a killer, oh, we got a glare. Let me find it. There. Killer album cover. I mean, it's just great. I love it. And it worked out so well. It's just a perfect visual representation. So let me put that one back on again so we can see it while I'm talking. All right. Now that I've run about 6 rabbit trails, I'll finally get into this song. All right, New Kind of Man. After I got saved in 2013, I wanted to write a song that would describe that whole process, describe the dichotomy between the old nature and the new nature. And I had the music for a long time, and it's pretty straightforward, but it's got a driving beat. It's heavy. It's a heavier song, and so I had the music, but I didn't really have lyrics. But once I got saved, I came across 2 Corinthians 5:17. I think it's 2 Corinthians. I always get those mixed up, either first or second. I think it's 2 Corinthians. Therefore, if any man is a new creation, so on and so forth. I can't recall the verse right now. It's been a long day. Anyway, 2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. There we go. So anyway, that's the premise that I wrote the song around, was that verse. The old nature, but now I'm a new kind of man because I've given my heart to Christ. I've trusted on the blood of Christ. The Holy Spirit now dwells within me. I'm a different person, okay? By the grace of God, of course. So that's what that song is about. And it's a heavier song. So I always knew that my voice was not going to be appropriate for that song. So I wanted for JT to sing most of those lyrics because he's got that heavy, gravelly, growling voice, and it just fits that song so perfectly. All I'm doing is singing the one-liners. Okay, he sings 3 lines, I sing 1. 3 lines, 1, all the way through the song. That's all I'm doing. It's mostly JT, and his voice fit it perfectly. Perfectly. So that's how the vocal arrangement came together. When we recorded the album, before we went in, we had a list of all the songs that we were going to record for the record. And, we decided before we went into the studio, all right, what do we want the album track listing to be? What do we want that to look like? And again, we always think in terms of albums. So 10 songs, 5 songs on each side. So this would be side 1, track 1. And the reason we went with New Kind of Man as that opening track is because it just has that opening track feel. It just comes at you full throttle. We all come in at the same time. It's a great opening track. And for a long time, it was the set opener when we played live. New Kind of Man would always be our set opener, our live set opener, until the second record when we had Holy. Then Holy became the set list opener. But again, even now, if we're doing more than one set, New Kind of Man will always open one of the later sets. Set 2, set 3, set 4, whatever it might be. But for a long time, before we had, our second album, Day of the Lord, New Kind of Man was our opening track for live shows. And, another commercial. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I hate ads. Most of them are just ridiculously stupid. All right, we're back to this. That's fine. But we knew it would be a strong opening track. Kind of going like what I said when we talked about Day of the Lord. You want a hard-hitting, in-your-face, and a song that just sets the tone for the rest of the album. Okay, it's setting that benchmark. That's what you're doing. You're setting the benchmark. All the other songs now have to meet this standard, at least, and they do. So that's the history and the background of New Kind of Man. Still one of my favorite tracks, just because it's been around for so long. but also because it's personal for me. That song was my transition, the difference between before and after I got saved, the power of Christ, the benefit of having the Holy Spirit dwelling within us. That's what New Kind of Man is all about. Like I said, 2 Corinthians 5:17. I'm pretty sure it's 2 Corinthians. It might be 1 Corinthians. I'm sorry. I'm a bit frazzled right now. It's been a long day. And it's right now almost 11 o'clock at night. Anyway, that verse. And it just made perfect sense to write a song about that. In the lyrics, like I said, they're very, very straightforward, and they're very dark in some ways. And so it made sense to have a heavier song with those lyrics, and it made sense to have JT's growling voice as the main lead vocalist on that track. The song came together perfectly. Like I said, it's very, very straightforward. Very straightforward. But that's okay. It doesn't need to be complex. It doesn't need to be rocket science. It just needs to be really good. And it is. So anyway, guys, if you've seen the other video that I put up titled "We're Back," I just want to touch on this for a minute. You know that we are back. We were on hiatus for a couple of months, but Revelation Rain, we've decided to move forward. Unfortunately, JT cannot be a part of it. He had to make a move to another state, and we understand that. And he gave his blessing, his full blessing to us to move forward, to find a new lead guitarist, and to move forward with this band, with these songs, with these albums, and with this live show that we have, with this message that we carry forth, trying to get people saved, trying to get them into the family of God. That's what we're doing. That's why we do what we do. So Revelation Rain is back together. As far as there's three of us, three original members, Marty, Grant, and myself, and we will move forward. We're going to find us a new lead guitar player, and we will be back. We will be back out there playing live shows very, very soon. And I think by the end of this year, early next year at the latest, record number 3 will be out. Okay? So anyway, that's New Kind of Man. Guys, since we are back together, you'll notice we reactivated our website. So you can go to our website for all the latest news, pictures, videos, and all that. www.revelationrain.net. www.revelationrain.net. And on there, because I was giving everybody the email address, which you can still contact us through that as well. But if you wanted to order either one of our CDs or Vengeance is Mine, if you want to order that on vinyl as well, I was given an email address. But now, better yet, you can now go to our website. There's a page called Store. And you can go right online and buy either one of the CDs or both. You can buy the vinyl Vengeance is Mine. You can buy t-shirts, all kinds of stuff. We got all kinds of merch there. But if you want to buy a physical, tangible copy of either one or both of our albums, go to our website, click on the tab that says Store, www.revelationrain.net. Okay? And again, still, if you're one of those people that like digital downloads or streaming, you can go to any of your favorite platforms and find it there. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. This is track 1 on side 1. We've got 9 more songs after this. I hope you'll continue to tune in. Continue to visit our website, our Facebook page, our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And just keep watching these videos. It's fun for me. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Take care, and God bless.